Well, today we've decided to do a walk up, hopefully to the summit of Cadair Idris, but the whole weekend has been very rainy and the cloud cover is currently low, so we're going to wait and see how we get on. We might just walk up to the lake and we'll keep judging the weather as we go. We're currently at the visitor centre at the Minford Path, which is the route we plan to take up. Well, so far we've climbed 640 steps and I'm dealing with it by counting. Sometimes I'm judging what's a rock and what's a step and what's flat ground, it's just a slope. We're taking it slowly. $710, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. $800, 801, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Oh, it's a gradual slope, these don't count. 7. Look at this, isn't this nice? Not that I'm putting off more steps. 8, 9, 10, 11. I'm actually in the stream at this point. 12. And now we can see some of the misty peaks ahead. 860, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. You can see the river behind, by the side of us there. And people going up there too. I just came up quite a slope and none of it was actually steps, so it didn't count. We're up to 910. Nice bridge there. Big slabs of slate. A lot of people have taken that path, it just forked. and we took the left at the fork, which may or may not be wise. It should clear in the afternoon though, so fingers crossed. I've just confessed to Andrew that I've been counting steps. I think that the steps have more or less finished and we got to 925. I had promised him a little celebration. He didn't know what it was for, and I just confessed I don't know that we'll make it to 1,000 because we're now just on kind of scree and not really steps. So we had a 925 step little celebration. If we make it to 1,000, we're actually at 926 now. There was one that I think counted as a step. A couple more coming up, so you never know, we might get there yet. It's still looking, I would say, promising. We'll see. It will improve. Well, this is 1,000 steps to here, and we've been hanging around, but there are lots of people still coming. So it's all right, it's 1,000 steps to here by my count, so we just thought we'd stop and have a little celebration of that. It's so wet. We're all getting drenched. But that's okay. The thing is, what is a step and what isn't? We're up to 1,148. These don't count as steps really. This one might here, as you go up a bit there. 49. None of these do. I've got to step down here. Do I have to do an on step? I don't know. No. Yeah, these don't count as steps really. A couple of those ahead will, because there's definitely an elevation gain. Also some interesting markings in that stone over there. And I guess we're going up to that, but look at those waterfalls. Well, I thought I'd show you some things. First of all, this is where we're up to. We're about to curve around to the left. And then we'll go back on ourselves a short way on the other side of this hill and then start climbing again. Now, I did have, here we go. I think I should be able to show you, hopefully on that map. You can see where we are, and we're going to go around and sort of, hope it's focusing, maybe it isn't, but up to the peak. We may not do the loop, we haven't quite decided. Don't think that is focusing, I'm sorry if it isn't. We may not do the full loop, but that was the only map I could find that actually showed a route on the Minffordd path to the peak. We're up to 1,240 steps, and I was going to say something else, but there are lots of people behind us now, so I'll tell you that in a moment. Or maybe we'll have a little stop on this rock where Andrew is. We've now reached a point where the path forks, and going this way, which is what we intend to do, I think, I'll talk to Andrew about it, that leads you to the lake, and then you can come back on yourself to go up to the peak. We'll get a good view from the lake though, in theory, about what's going on higher up, and going over this way we go straight up toward the peak. The other thing I was going to say, just in case it's of interest, is these shoes, my ongoing saga of shoes, which you might know about, I have an ongoing saga of shoes. These are Hoka Speed Goats, which it might seem very odd that I put extra pour-on foam padding in them. And they have Vibram soles, and for this kind of day, they're absolutely fantastic. They're not Gore-Tex, but I wear waterproof socks, and that's absolutely fine. I can just go through the stream, for example, that we've just been going through. Andrew also has Hoka, I can't remember what they're called, it's not Atapuerca, is it? But it's a word like that. They're the hiking boots, and they are Gore-Tex. Are they leaking, Andrew? Not at all. Not at all. There we go, and they're bouncy for him.
They're really comfy.
But I find these quite hot, probably because I put extra foam in them. They're quite hot, so that's why I've been trying to find something different for the Camino. But for this kind of thing, the grip is great, they're well cushioned, I can feel my feet, I've got plenty of room for my little toes and whatnot, and I put gaiters on them with some Velcro. I do wish they would put like little gaiter loops, it would be so simple to do, but they work. So that's my gear, and we've just taken the right fork without even talking about it, so there we go. Here we are approaching the lake. I think it's pronounced Llyn, or at least Key, because it's C-A-U. And I think the A-U, I might be wrong, correct me if so, but I think the A-U is an E sound, like Dolgelly. So Llyn Key. Llyn Key. And the peak should be more or less straight ahead of us. We'll have a look at the weather probably and just see how the forecast's looking. Look at how clear the water is. Having a little break, eating crisps with blobs on, because I don't want to get cold fingers the way I did when I went up to the plateau in the Cardinals. But loads of people here doing the same thing. And the lake is that away.
Let's start the live.
I think there's going to be a seagull war. I have just dropped some crisps down the back of my rock. I was putting my camera away and my crisp packet fell out of my hand. So I think there's going to be a happy seagull, who shouldn't really be happy because salt isn't good for birds. But hey ho. Seagulls are pretty cast iron, aren't they? I suppose. Mr. Seagull is getting very close. I think he shows no fear. Oh! No, nasty. We're now up to 1,600 steps. We may make it to 2,000 at this rate, if we keep having actual steps. The lake is that away. I keep saying that away, because I speak the best sort of English. And that's where we're going. You can't even see the peaks, which kind of over there. Hopefully it will clear by the time we're up there. If not, we'll just see what it feels like to be in cloud. Come back if we want. It's all okay. So we're now at 1,800 steps, but Andrew doesn't know. I have known people who can climb stairs on like the stair machine in the gym and just do so many so quickly, like 120 steps a minute. I'm not one of those people. Steps are hard, so I'm keeping myself sane by counting them. And every 100 steps at the moment, I stop and I take a little break and Andrew catches up. And yeah, we do things at our own pace. Mine is like the hare, but I need to stop regularly. Andrew reaches me and he could just keep going, doesn't really need a break. Another thing is that not all steps are created equal. So 40, 41, 42, and we go way up. 43, 44, and so on. So I was just going to try and say a little more about the route and what we're thinking of doing. I think you can see where we are now, which is here. We've come from down here and sort of down down by the car park, and we walked up here. So we've got most of the ascent out of the way. The thing now is that when I check the weather, the wind is going, it's an easterly, well, it's going toward the east. So it's going to be in our faces along this ridge, and then it's going to be potentially attempting to blow us off. Although it's not too bad a wind, but that is the direction of it. It'd be great going home. So yes, and it's still in cloud, so we'll see how we get on. Not snow, but quartz. It's a special step, this one, by my count, which is faultless to a fine, fine degree. That is the 2,000th step. And we're going to have a little party. Well, not really. Yeah. I'm at 1,999 steps, Andrew. I'm waiting to take the 2,000th with you. We're about to take the 2000th step. You ready?
Yeah.
Not this one, but that one.
Okay, go on then.
I feel like a new person. It's a bit blowy. If I had my hair out, you'd be able to see better. It's so blowy. Well, we've got ourselves a little sort of sheltered lunch spot. This is the last place where we've got a sort of rise behind us, stopping the eastern wind from whipping into our faces. We went a short way further on. Here's Andrew, eating away. We've both got bagels again, goat cheese. Here am I, with my goat cheese sandwich. And I've been quite impressed actually that we've seen quite a lot of young children and families going past, and you know, they don't seem to be struggling at all. They're getting out there and enjoying it, and that's really good to see. This is the view. So another wonderful thing for rainy days like now is coffee. It's extra weight. And I was thinking I'll carry a couple of litres of water and, you know, maybe replace a bit of it with coffee. But I've actually added about an extra litre of rain onto my backpack, I think. So, yeah, we're going to sit and have a nice cup of hot coffee and try and get warm, although I am getting cold fingers at this point. Do you want to take it, Andrew? You can have the first.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you. There he is with his coffee.
Oh, that's nice.
Well, things have changed. This was our little lunch spot. That's where we sat. And in the last few minutes, that has appeared. It's still cloudy there, but we're starting to get some visibility. So, fingers crossed, that keeps going. Sometimes you follow the path and it just terminates at something like this. It's actually just a little path that leads you to a lookout point. And there's the path that we followed. I think we're meant to be following that pile of scree. I've got 2 pairs of gloves on, merino wool gloves and some Gore-Tex outdoor research gloves, which are really good, but my fingers have gone numb again. And when I checked them during our lunch break, I could see that they'd gone red, the tips. They don't go white like in Raynaud's syndrome normally, they just go red. And that was starting to happen, and they didn't feel too bad. Now they feel like I'm trying to keep moving as much as I can, except when I stop to talk to you. I'm trying to keep my arms moving lots, but it's a bit uncomfortable now. Hey ho, they're only fingers. I'd like to know, what's the highest dial in the world? Or in the UK? This is going to be a pretty high one, albeit not as high, I'm sure, as many. And then again, there's not usually much call for one above a certain altitude. Do they have them in Nepal, styles, or are they not needed? Oh god. Let's go down this way.
I'm sort of assuming the Camino, the navigation will be a bit simpler as well. That it will be a bit more obvious. Might not be, of course. I'll get down this, I think it's going to be really tricky.
We'll be okay. You get to certain points and there are just sudden drop-offs, like here. I see a can. I read that there was a shelter at the summit, and it's that. So maybe we'll go and nosy around down there. Although, I don't know whether it'll be open, what with COVID. But there's probably some way you can get a bit of shelter there. And here we are. Well, we're now at the summit of Cadair Idris. There's Andrew. And it's gone quiet for a moment. It's been really blowy, so I'm half expecting it'll get blowy again. I can't believe it's only like a 4 to 5 mile walk around, because it does, obviously it's mostly ascent, but it feels a lot further than that, I think. We haven't yet got the window of sun that we were supposed to have around about now. But we're the only ones up here. It's really nice. I've just been having some WhatsApp messages from Kim. We actually finally got a connection up here. She said, you're doing something nice on a Sunday. And it's very atmospheric, she commented, which it is. I sent her a couple of photos. Yeah. So it might be nice if the sun came out for us, but we'll see. This is our view. My little feet. Andrew's feet hidden down there somewhere.
When is it going to start raining again?
A big drop off. I think the rain is meant to come and go during the day, but we're supposed to be getting sun at 3 o'clock and bits of rain, and then through to 6 o'clock where it's meant to be completely sunny.
I mean, it does look quite sunny down.
It looks bright behind us, actually. If we look over this way, you're then looking towards the shelter down there. It's white, but it looks maybe a bit brighter. So this is what I've been hoping for. You see, it says 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock, I think, isn't it? Yeah, 5 o'clock. Some clouds. And we're now at right in the middle of when we should have some clouds. I would put it to you that we've had some clouds for pretty much the entire time. Little birds on the floor over there.
Ooh.
Huh.
This way you spend the night then?
Can do, yeah. A brush up there. I just wonder what that is. Some other people came to the summit while we were there, and we had a brief chat with them. Really nice people. Everybody we've been talking to, not that there've been many people, but everybody's been really nice. And they were talking about some people who'd come up the same track we've come up, but then ended up going down the wrong route, and they'd gone down the pony track and kind of got down near to the car park there, and they talked to them, and they were saying, yeah, we've got to figure out how to get back to our car now. Because it's sort of a straight line, like over the mountain and then down the far side, so it wasn't what they were meant to do at all. I was also going to say, when we were at the summit, that it's the mountain is Cadair Idris, which means the giant chair. And the summit is actually supposedly the top of the chair, and the name in Welsh, I can't remember off the top of my head, but the name in Welsh means the top of the giant chair. Here we are again at our lake. You can actually see things down here. The world's highest style. I'm just going to nip under here because why not? It's apparent that other people do. So here I go, before we get my backpack stuck. Maybe not. There we go. I think you've got... No, you're alright. Hey! Onwards. Hi. I think we've now got most of the scree and the sharp downhill without a clear path out of the way, most of it. And we're about to approach, we are approaching I should say, where we had lunch. It's a little bit calmer, just for the time being, probably because we've got a bit of shelter behind us. And all we've got now is about 2,000 steps downhill. Now we're coming up to our lunch spot from earlier on, as I just mentioned. And it's not that near a cairn, it's the one that's further away. It's gone quite grey now. So, whether we'll see a little sun later on or not, it'll be quite strange if we do, actually. No, it wasn't that cairn. No, they all look similar. I will find it. I think this is probably our cairn that we had lunch at earlier, because people were sometimes coming round one side of us. This would explain why they were doing that. But we came up the other side. So maybe this is our cairn, as much as it doesn't look all that familiar though. So maybe it isn't. No, it isn't. I'll keep on going. That's not our cairn. Because we own it, of course. You know that. Of course we do. No, I was right. It is indeed our cairn. Because there's the cairn. And this is where we were. We were just a bit down from it, which is why people were walking around the side of us. We had lunch just behind there. And there's the cairn. So, onward. And on the left, that's the sharp drop down to the lake. It's an interesting rock. I like the way it goes like this. We're approaching Quartz Corner. The rock with all the quartz in it that I pointed out earlier on. Back to the steps again. And over here we have Quartz Corner. Really stunning rock.
It's beautiful.
It is. Yeah. I know I said this earlier, but just look at those waterfalls. And I think we'd have had a long wait for those clouds to clear. But they're just sitting at that level. Or it's a single cloud, I suppose. And that's the ridge that we've been walking. You can sort of see it. Goes all the way around. I was just saying that the idea of it being the giant's armchair is because it's shaped like an armchair, and the idea is that the lake is the seat, and the peak, which is the top of the seat, is sort of, well, it's up in the cloud, but it's up here on this side. We've just been commenting on how it's strange that compared with when we were at the lake earlier and we had a little snack and the seagulls were there, everyone's gone. And we passed a few people earlier on going up, But all of the people that were here, poof, gone, can't see anyone. What are we doing that's so peculiar, that's so different to everyone else? We just went up down what's widely thought of as probably the prettiest route. Something exciting. There's a person ahead. It's the gentleman we passed on the way up before. He was coming down and he had a cup of coffee in his hand, a little plastic cup. We had a nice chat with him. He was going to do the loop and decided not to because, like us, he hadn't done it before. And what with it being cloudy, he's actually quite some way ahead of us. I zoomed in on him. Every so often, there comes a time when I just feel like crisps. And sometimes I ignore that urge because I just want to keep moving. But I actually function better when I eat. And I was just saying to Andrew, who is here, hello,
Hello.
that my hands seemed to warm up probably after I'd had some time to digest that bagel I had for lunch and then get moving and swing my arms a bit, which I had been anyway. But then everything was fine. I warmed up and I now have fingers again. So, and I'd had some coffee too. So I think eating is probably really important with the thing where my fingers just go completely numb. Yeah. So that was actually really good that happened, and then it went away again. Our little snack spot. We've got a stream going down that way and a stream going down that way, and we're on a little rock in the middle of it. Very nice. You can see over there there's a line going down the hillside, and that's where if we'd done the loop we'd have been coming back down there, and we just saw some people coming back along that route, so maybe it would have been straightforward. But when I first looked up this route, it was on a website and it suggested to the summit and back this way. And we're quite happy and we've been enjoying it.
We have been enjoying it.
I've never seen one of these before. I don't know what it is. It's presumably some sort of water worm. I would have thought it was just a piece of thread, and then it started moving. Water worm? It's not a very good place for it to be, what with it being right on the path.
It was, wasn't it?
Hey, it's a slug.
Oh, yeah.
It's interesting coming down from the sort of place that we've just been to and that landscape and getting back to a place like this, which is so much greener, but with the rapid flowing water next to us as well. And more humid, even though we were in cloud before. We've been talking to a few people on the way down. There was a lady who just had a bit of a slip and they'd, I think she was a bit shaken, so they were talking just while she calmed down a bit. They'd done the loop round, but were saying it wasn't too well defined, and they probably thought we probably did the most sensible thing. But it sounds as though they're trying to put in, like, the people that own and maintain the routes, the national park rather, that they're trying to put in new paving or new steps of the type that is on this side. So maybe in the next few years it will become an easier route to do, the full loop, without worrying about it at all. It's the bridge, and after that it is all flat. From here to the ends of the earth, there is no more hill.
We're down.
We are, almost. a sign. Well, we're almost back at the car, and our plan now is to have some food, maybe the last of the coffee that's left from our little break earlier, and then we'll drive home.